Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 10 of season 2 of the F1 2021 Williams Road to Glory. Yes, today we head back to the home of British Motorsport, of course, our home race, the team's home race, even George Russell's home race as well. It's everyone down at Williams' home race today. Yes, we're back in Silverstone. Of course, if you missed that on the last video that went live earlier on in the week from Austria, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Again, Austria just always delivers carnage on F1 2021, so definitely one that was worth going back and giving it a watch. But of course, as well, I want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys that have now helped us smash through 38,000 subscribers. You know, we're still making really good gains up towards 40k now as well. You know, if you aren't already, please do get yourself subscribed. Trying to hit 50k by the end of the year. So yeah, if you could help us get one step closer, it would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, spoilers from Austria though in just a moment. Heading in towards the British Grand Prix, that we've still got one more upgrade currently in the works there. Which, I mean, now we're ahead of Aston Martin. We're trying to bring ourselves sort of level with AlphaTauri, and then of course, yeah, it'll be a real focus on trying to be best of the rest, and then of course Red Bull and Mercedes right at the front of the field there. That upgrade though won't come in until after the British Grand Prix. Championship wise though, still sat in P8 ahead of both Ferraris in the championship there. Team still down in 6th as well in the constructors, just 13 points behind Ferrari, 15 ahead of Alpine there. George Russell, he's not quite had the luck of the green so far this year, sat down in 14th place on 14 points, tied with Sebastian Vettel, but fingers crossed, yeah, the luck can start going his way a little bit more. But fingers crossed, Silverstone quite a power track. Hopefully it'll suit our car. For one day only today to celebrate the launch of the all-new Drive to Survive Season 4, the F1 store is doing a 15% off sale. This is probably going to be your best chance to get merch ready for the 2022 season, so make sure you click the links down below. Lines available for every single team, so whether you're a fan of Red Bull, Mercedes or anyone else, today is definitely going to be the best chance to get your merch before Bahrain next weekend. Super exciting, and yeah, if you use the link down below, you massively help support the channel. Right, well here we are then, qualifying day at the British Grand Prix. Let's just wait and see as to what we can get done in this session. Hoping the team just give us that little extra 10% this weekend. You know, a home race for everyone. Fingers crossed, spirits are high. You know, we've had a pretty decent run of form over the last few races. Let's hope that momentum can continue this weekend as we head through turn 1. Oh, way too deep though. As we head into the loop, that might immediately be this first lap being a bit of a write-off, but we'll try and just keep our head down and see what we can do. May as well get a lap time on the board, I suppose. Sergio Perez sets the pace on a high 124. So we try and head through Maggots and Beckett's there. Bit of an untidy, scrappy line there. So we're just trying to get our eye in with the car, you know, sort of on low fuel. And these tyres, they're Bottas at 124.7. So Red Bull and Mercedes clearly still not much to separate them as we near the halfway stage of the season, but down in towards the final couple of corners. What time are we going to be able to set on the board on this first lap? Oh, running a little bit wide through the final couple of corners. Hamilton, home race for him, immediately goes fastest there, and we are going to set only a 26.7 there, as Leclerc immediately right behind us goes down into the 124s. Slower than Kimi Räikkönen, but quicker than Latifi. Well, 6 minutes left on the clock then as we head out for our second lap of the session. If this one's not much of an improvement, may as well bail out to make sure we've definitely got enough time to go for our last lap there. But myself and George currently sat in 15th and 16th, a little way off where I'd want us to be honest, at this stage of qualifying. But let's see if we can really try and get this second lap hooked up a whole lot better. Remember to brake at the 100 board that time around rather than at the curbing. It's still, yeah, isn't quite the same car as the one we use in the My Team series. There is immediately 3/10 found as we head out of the loop. That's what we like to see to kickstart our second flyer. We're really trying to commit as we head through Maggots and Beckett's this time around there as we try and get as close to the grass. Oh, short shifting on the way up though. That's going to cost us a little bit of delta as we were about 4/10 up as we head down in towards the final sector, tied with Yuki Tsunoda a little bit further up the road, but running a little bit wide there. We may as well finish off the lap now as we head down in towards the final few corners. Bottas goes even faster down onto a 124.5 as we run horribly wide out of the final corner. do keep the foot in though, and it's a 26 flat. Puts us ahead of Yuki and ahead of Sebastian Vettel there. That's roughly where we should have been, but we might just have time for one more. Trying to just give ourselves a little bit of clear air as we get ready to start our final lap then of qualifying here for the British Grand Prix. Can we try and move this thing any higher up the order, as I think a couple of laps have been disallowed. We're going to start the lap with about 7 seconds left on the clock. But yeah, we need to really try and nail this final run of the session. They're all clipping the curb a bit too much through turn 1. Gives us quite an unsteady line through the first couple of corners there, but launch it down in towards the loop once more. And then try and get the front end pointed in. A little bit of a mistake there, but really getting on the throttle nice and early. Trying to leap our way out of the first section there, and still half-tenth up there. That's pretty good going. Clearly there's more grip now on the circuit as everyone else is finishing off their final runs. We run a little bit wide though, and that might cost us all the time we found through the first sector there. Really open up the exit as we head back out onto the old front straightaway here, and still marginally up in the green at the moment. We'd only need another couple of tenths to potentially springboard ourselves to a handful of positions here. Big lift through Old Turn 1. They're definitely not able to take that quite flat out yet in the Williams. And then in towards Maggotts and Beckett's. Just take a deep breath as you try and chuck the car in. Try and keep it a bit tidy there. Launch our way on the power on the exit, and that's exactly what we've done. A little bit slower on the way in, but that's going to carry us all the way down the hangar straight in towards the final few corners of the lap. Braking just before the 50. A little bit of a correction on the steering there as we open up the circuit to the best of our abilities. Final chicane though. Let's try and keep it clean and tidy through here. Launch it over the curbs on the entry. Launch it over the curbs on the exit. They're again getting over that orange curb. Keep our foot in. We've taken floor damage. And that's not going to be an improvement in the end there. Dramatic scenes to finish off qualifying.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Bottas, Hamilton and Max Verstappen. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Well, there we go then. Qualifying done and dusted for the British Grand Prix. And it's Valtteri Bottas who puts it on pole ahead of his teammate Lewis Hamilton there. Verstappen and Perez third and fourth. Just 3 thousandths between the Red Bull duo. Charles Leclerc in P5. Where on earth has Sainz ended up, though, at the end of qualifying? He didn't set a lap time, so perhaps Carlos Sainz then with some penalties this weekend. George Russell, I'm sure, to be a bit gutted. 8 tenths away from ourselves there. He seemed much closer to the Alphas and the Haas at the end of that rather than the Aston Martins and the Alpines. But yeah, we weren't too far away from the top 10 there. So Lance Stroll desperately needs to get more points on the board. Let's dive in then here to the British Grand Prix.
Great Britain then, one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every single year of the Formula One World Championship. And the circuit extends that record further for today's Grand Prix. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap speeds of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Charles Leclerc and Gasly, Norris, Raikkonen, Ricciardo and Lance Stroll, Mr. Monaco, Tsunoda, George Russell and Giovinazzi, Ocon, Mazepin, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. Sainz and Sebastian Vettel starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
Well, here we are then, ready on the grid for the British Grand Prix, and after a couple of penalties, I'm into P11 for the start of the race here today. Fingers crossed we can have a good, clean, tidy start there and see if we can try and move up in towards the points. Would love to actually have the pace this weekend to really try and fight there as well. But 26 laps ahead of us around the British Grand Prix circuit. The opening couple can be a little bit scary here. Lance Stroll just alongside us. Fingers crossed, yeah, we can just keep it clean off the start here. But waiting then on those 5 red lights here at Silverstone. And it's going to be lights out and away we go. Oh, almost got a good start there as we head down in towards turn 1 as George Russell, immediately tried to have a look around the outside of us there. Not too sure if there was contact as we hook it up around the outside of Tsunoda. Of course, sim damage in this series there. We do actually get a warning for contact with our teammate there. Not too sure what we could have done as Tsunoda was certainly trying to squeeze us out in towards the first corner. But P11 to P11 then, so nothing gained, nothing lost off the start of the race there as everyone just trying to sort of scrabble around, make sure, you know, such a high-speed circuit here. You've got to have a lot of confidence in the tyres and in your machinery pretty much from the get-go here at Silverstone. Otherwise, people will try and pounce on you as well there as we head out onto the back straightaway. Looks like it is still a Mercedes 1-2 there, but looks like Charles Leclerc has managed to get himself between the Red Bulls. Are we finally starting to see Ferrari with a little bit more fighting form there, as that is not the line through the old turn 1, and Yuki Tsunoda will say thank you very much, and his teammate Esteban Ocon might try and follow him through. No, we hang on firm there from the Frenchman, and yeah, only the 1 position lost in that moment. So I've got to remember, yeah, big lift required early on down in towards the old turn 1 there. Side by side at the road, I think that's the McLarens. No, just Daniel Ricciardo trying to have a look. I think that was to the inside of Kimi Räikkönen. So just trying to get a little bit used to the full fuel, everything like that as we ran through the final couple of corners of this opening lap. Looks like we have just about survived. Bottas leads the way at the end of lap 1 though, as we get a nice bit of snap oversteer there, just to wake me up a little.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Well, trying to stay in the DRS might be critical today in this race, as I don't think we're going to be inside the range already here on just lap 3. Tsunoda and Stroll, yeah, really pushing hard early on. Like I said, Stroll's only scored 1 point all season up to now. He desperately needs a bit of a turn of form at this stage of the campaign. But I think, yeah, we're going to be focusing on our mirrors a little bit more than the cars in front, as I think Stroll might just be getting a distant tow from Danny Rick as well, which just further exacerbates the issue, because he can sort of drag Tsunoda along. We've got to keep our head down though. Long old race today still. And yeah, fingers crossed, you know, it can sort of come towards us later on in the day. Oh, here we go. Tsunoda versus Lance Stroll as we head down the end of the hangar straight. Has Tsunoda just pulled off a move right around the outside there? I think he has. Look at that, Yuki Tsunoda, the young Japanese driver, pulling off moves early on. Clearly never afraid to show how brave he is there, as Perez now new fast lap of the day. So maybe Red Bull have got a little bit more pace on race pace there as we set a new PB. Yeah, if Stroll and Tsunoda can start battling a bit more, maybe that could help us. But not optimistic early on. The AI, yeah, very quick on race day at Silverstone. I always forget about it.
Caution, caution.
Oh, we got yellow flags out further up the order. I think it's one of the front runners. Could we see a dramatic twist here at the British Grand Prix very early on here? We're only on lap 5 of the race. No, it's Pierre, well, still not good, but Pierre Gasly out of the Grand Prix there means we're back up into 11th. And yeah, Stroll now promoted back up inside the points here, but just look at how strong the AI are through the old turn 1 there. We pretty much nailed that, and Esteban Ocon still having a look back towards the outside. But again, not letting the Frenchman muscle his way through. But poor Pierre Gasly out of the British Grand Prix.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Team wanted me to go a whole lot longer then, by the looks of it, on the strategy. Don't think it's really worth doing around Silverstone, to be honest, there as we try and get the car slowed down in towards turn 3 once more. Really struggling today. I think this is kind of more showing of the Williams race pace. Not particularly good through the high-speed corners either. this car. Very, very good down the straights, but yeah, still just lacking that high-end performance. Oh, we got more yellow flags. Again, one of the Mercedes this time round out of the British Grand Prix. Or have they just span by themselves? I think one of the Mercs has looped it. And it's Hamilton. Hamilton might just have bottled it here at the British Grand Prix. He must have span on throttle, trying to keep up with his teammate Valtteri Bottas there. And now Hamilton just a second in front of us in the British Grand Prix there. Heartbreaking scenes. He's going to have a mountain to climb the rest of the afternoon. Clearly that mistake from Hamilton has G'd on Max Verstappen a little bit. The Dutchman now sneaks away fastest lap. As Hamilton, yeah, selfishly, didn't even decide to give me DRS for at least one lap.
Window, you'll be on the mediums.
Team 1 is seen in a couple of laps' time. We're still going to try and box on lap 10. Every lap when we go down the hangar straight now, Ocon is just getting that little bit closer to me as Hamilton has immediately romped up towards the back of Stroll and Tsunoda again. Fingers crossed that can play in towards our hands and bring us a little bit closer to those drivers. But yeah, just really lacking.
A second a lap faster, 1 second.
Oh good, that's Hamilton, not of course Lance Stroll, otherwise I was going to be really worried then. But yeah, just really struggling at the moment. Still trying to keep Ocon at bay, which, to be fair, he's not applying too much pressure. We've now got a sophisticated enough engine and battery pack that we're not completely melting through ERS as the day unfolds. But yeah, just need that little bit extra from the car, you know. We've had a really good run of form, like I said, in Austria.
Is 3.0 seconds.
But it's always going to come to an end, and I think, yeah, this weekend again, just some of the weaknesses showing how much progress we've still got to make with this Williams. You know, you kind of need these sobering experiences, I feel. As here comes Esteban Ocon again, out through the old turn 1, side by side, and again, Ocon, the first to blink. Oh, no, he's not. Oh! Ocon tried to have a look back at the inside there. That might leave him vulnerable to George Russell further back. Go on, George, getting involved, mate. I want to see George Russell fighting here, but I don't think our teammate's going to have enough. Nice to see, though, after his rough qualifying, though, that he has got good race pace. Oh, there we go. Starting to see first cars into the pits then, as Esteban Ocon again gaining. Very, very late move by myself, I must admit, to the inside there as Ocon tries to give us a big old squeeze. Is the Frenchman going to pit in? No, he is not. We've got to try and get the car slowed down. Oh! Yeah, so now we have really got a battle on our hands then. Ocon and I side by side as we went down into the pit lane there. Not many cars, though, by the looks of it, opting to pit this early on. It really is, yeah, the first pitters in this GP. As Hamilton going on to mediums, Ricciardo going on to hards, though, in this race. That's going to be interesting to see what the pace of the McLaren is going to be later on. Could we see some more cars making that call? 2.4 seconds stop there. Williams normally not too shabby on the pit stops, as there goes Schumacher and Latifi in their own Formula 2 race. But yeah, now we've got to really put the hammer down over these next couple of laps and make sure we don't get undercut. Oh, we're pushing, baby. There we go. Russell into the pits at the end of the very same lap there as we're really trying to attack through Maggots and Beckett. George Russell into the pit lane now. I think Esteban Ocon. Oh, one of the... Yeah, has Ocon? I think that's Tsunoda that stayed out there in this Grand Prix in the other Alpine, but we should get a rough idea of where we're at now in this race. Often the overcut can be pretty strong here, but like I said, we have pushed on this out lap, and then of course the AI have all got to navigate each other in the pit lane as well. Carlos Sainz has really made no progress so far in this race, but here's Russell, and I think there is the Alpine of Esteban Ocon, so we have just about stayed out in front of him. Looks like Sir Lancelot has lost a lot of time over the course of the pit window as well, and of course on cold rubber we might have a chance to close down a little bit more on the Canadian and maybe launch ourselves back into points battling contention. As now looking on the mini-map, seems like Verstappen might have just sniped this one from under Mercedes' noses this weekend. Hamilton new fastest lap of the day. Yeah, Verstappen clear out in front there with a good couple of seconds as the last few cars into the pits. Where are we going to re-emerge? Yeah, it's still P11 at the moment, with the gap to Stroll floating just over the 1 second. Tsunoda's done a pretty good overcut on Sir Lance, but we got to try desperately to get ourselves back inside the DRS range. We're pushing.
Stroll is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 1.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. The time last lap was a 1:54.8.
I think Stroll's got issues in this Grand Prix because we are just gaining masses of time pretty much everywhere. As Kimi Raikkonen and Yuki Tsunoda battle further up the road. Yeah, we are closing in rather rapidly, actually, on the Canadian there. I think Stroll has got some sort of issue in that Aston Martin. Not a major one, but certainly one that is swinging this race towards me again. So I mean, look at this as we head back out on towards Old Turn 1. They're closing in rather rapidly on Sir Lance. Of course, through here we're never going to gain time on anyone, so we actually run a little bit wide that time around there. But maybe now, if we get a good run out onto the hangar straight, which doesn't appear like we are. Yeah, Stroll maybe just starting to feel the pressure there. Maybe Aston Martin are slowly fixing whatever's wrong with that thing, but we're still going to try and drain the battery, get as close as we dare to the Canadian, but not quite close enough this time round, as Kimi Raikkonen still trying to hang on with Yuki in front, but Kimi's on hard, sorry, I should say. So he, oh, Stroll, big lock up. We almost go into the back of him. Yeah, Kimi might struggle later on if he loses the DRS to Tsunoda. Aston Martin have often just lacked that little bit of extra performance that they've needed this season to really put themselves in a points battle with the likes of Alpine and ourselves, and I think these are the little things that are going to really cost them there. To the inside of Sir Lance. Oh, big move there as Stroll tried to move in the braking zone. Esteban Ocon might try and follow us by, but yeah, one of the more robust moves I think I've done on F1 2021 there. But Kimi Raikkonen now 3 seconds up the road. Ocon, though, going to look towards the inside of the Canadian as well. Are we going to see Hamilton Verstappen back through Old Turn 1? No, looks like those two have been able to keep it clean and tidy. Two very good friends off the circuit. But I think Stroll might only just have hung on this time round. But it all plays beautifully into my hands if it gives us a little bit of wiggle room. As now Carlos Sainz trying to get involved. That might be able to throw a spanner in the works if Sainz can get past us. Those little crumbs of hopes of scoring points today might just evaporate.
Some information on Vettel. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Oh, so maybe both Aston Martins then with a technical glitch or gremlins this weekend then. Now Sebastian Vettel as well apparently with issues. We never heard anything on the radio about Lance, but he's clearly struggling now as Sainz has moved himself up into P12 for this Grand Prix. But Kimi Raikkonen, rather annoyingly, still hanging on to Yuki Tsunoda's coattails. 10 laps to go here from Silverstone. Can we score more points?
Okay, some information on Raikkonen. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Oh, Kimi Raikkonen, big issues in this Grand Prix there. They're slowing down and then there's just sat on the hangar straight. That's going to promote us now up into P9 then of the Grand Prix. And can AlphaTauri do a bit of a reset then on that car? I think it's caused even more drama. Riding on board with Lance Stroll as we head out onto the back straight there. You can see Kimi Raikkonen further up the road just running a little bit slowly. And Stroll, plenty of time to see him, but just goes straight into the back. Russell has gone into the back of him as Sebastian Vettel plows in there as well. What on earth is that at the end of the hangar straight there? I mean, Lance Stroll, what are you doing, mate? But that's brought out a safety car here as a massive shunt late on here at the British Grand Prix.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
We're going to take a big gamble late on in the British Grand Prix here. I don't think we're going to have the pace to hang on ahead of Esteban Ocon and Carlos Sainz. So what we're going to do is pit in onto a used set of the soft compound tyres here late on. We should stay out ahead of the Alfa Romeos just behind. But I just think it's going to be worth it here late on in the day just to have this pace advantage, have that little bit extra in the back pocket there. I think Giovinazzi actually might come out ahead of me. But yeah, we should still definitely be ahead of Nikita Mazepin. I sort of felt we're damned if we don't make the stop. I felt, yeah, they're two. I'll just give it a fly past me here, but yeah, we need to come out ahead of Nikita Mazepin. You set softs only did the one run on him in qualifying. It's 2.5 seconds stop. Yeah, going to re-emerge in P12 then, so we only need to try and overtake two of these cars. Are we? No, we're not. Mazepin's going to get out ahead of me there, which is rather frustrating. We should definitely come out ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, though. as we head back out in towards turn 1. Yeah, we must have got screwed there. Because, of course, all the top runners caught up with the safety car, and that meant the Delta got removed. So now down in P13, rather than P11 like I'd anticipated. Have we just thrown this away with 7 laps to go? Safety car in then at the end of lap 20. We've got 6 laps to go here from Silverstone, and we are going to have to really try and get our elbows out here as we try to move ourselves back into the points. I thought this could be a good strategy call, and now we're really going to have to try and prove it, as, yeah, a lot of Constantina and up down in towards the final few turns. There is Carlos Sainz, the man that separates us from the points, but as we roll on the power at the final corner, cold rubber's going to cost us briefly. We need to try and get these tyres switched on. Kimi Räikkönen now all over the back of me. Look at that, nothing.
That was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know really who's to blame for that one. As we head back down towards turn 1, you can see we just run a little bit wide there. I mean, we've kind of spanned back onto the track there, but Kimi was never really looking like he was going to give me much room to try and get back on the circuit there. I mean, of course, yeah, we're the one that's made the initial mistake there, but just watching it on board as we head through turn 1, should we have gone down towards the grass? I mean, by that point, the back end's already got loose, and Kimi Räikkönen, he's turning at me! So all it does is just send us both on a collision course towards the barrier there. Like I said, Kimi very, very lucky, actually, that car didn't try to roll over on him, because it does get very, very high up on that one side there. But so much drama, so much carnage late on in the British Grand Prix there. We took the gamble on the strategy, and it's all gone up in smoke. They're gutted with that's the way today's race is going to end. But safety cars often create more safety cars in Formula 1. That generally is the rule of thumb. And 2 massive shunts for both Williams drivers there. Both Aston Martins as well involved in big incidents today. And both AlphaTauris not making it to the end. But not the way we wanted our home Grand Prix to finish us there. And that is us out here at Silverstone.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, staying out of trouble was probably the most important factor here. In the race where half the field weren't classified at the checker flag, you were able to guarantee a good result by basically keeping the car running. With their pace and a decent strategy as well, I don't think the race was ever really in doubt.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Carlos Sainz certainly wasn't someone to scoff about. His ability to follow race strategies throughout with pinpoint precision has to be commended.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula 1 action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, a heartbreaking end to the British Grand Prix there, but Max Verstappen, the Dutchman, comes out on top here at Silverstone there with, from third on the grid, yeah, really did take it away from Mercedes there. Bottas in second ahead of Sergio Perez there, and Hamilton did recover after his early mistake to finish in P4. Then you've got Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo and Carlos Sainz, and then both Alpines rounding out your top 10 there. Sainz, yeah, good recovery from him from right at the very back there. And again, Sebastian Vettel from last to almost scoring points is no easy feat in that Aston Martin there. Both Alphas and Haas round out your finishes there. And yeah, Raikkonen, myself, Stroll, Russell, and Pierre Gasly all not making it to the checkered flag there. A lot of crazy scenes in the British Grand Prix today. But yeah, just couldn't get the tyres switched on. Made that small mistake. And yeah, Kimi was never willing to budge. Although I don't think, to be honest, we were going to end up in much of a better situation there. But racing can be brutal. And if the Williams Road to Glory has taught us anything other than that, it can be brutal very, very often there. Gap at the top, though, down to just 1 point with that race victory for Max Verstappen there. So we're very, very much heating up at the top. Bottas still within 1 race victory contention as well. As, yeah, no movement until right down at the rear of the field there as Giovinazzi gets past both Haas cars on a count back. Constructors-wise, Ferrari jump AlphaTauri, though, moving back up to where they should be, really, in this championship. As Alpine, with that double point haul, just narrowly closing the gap as well to ourselves. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back very, very soon. Round 11 of the year. I think we head to the Hungaroring, but again, please don't hold me to that. We'll see you guys very, very soon with more Formula 1 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.